Hello, everybody. This is week 5 of the MCO. Another session. Ready? Let's go. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Mamak Sessions. Today on the show, we have Mr. Brandon. What up, man? What up?
Hello.
And
what up, man? Nothing's just been around. Yeah.
I know that should be the usual answer when you ask what's up, because what else could be up, right? You're freaking stuck at home. If something is up, you're breaking the MCO and you ought to go to jail.
Exactly.
But today we have a very special guest, Brandon. I think it's been a while that we've been trying to get her on the show. I know that we almost got on the show, then this whole thing freaking came into motion. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the very lovely, we missed her so much. I'm so happy she's here. We have Marianne, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Marianne.
I love
Thanks
how
for
on the
inviting
screen,
me.
right? You're welcome. I love how on the screen it doesn't even say your name. It says Jared Lee instead. That's how much she honors her husband, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like
Is there a story why you don't have Zoom or why you don't have your own account at least?
It's like just
I'm paranoid, like having it on my desktop, but Jared's like not shy about anything. So he's just like, if I'm naked, I'm naked, you know? So like, I'm like, all right, sure. So I'd rather just have it on his desktop. Yeah.
Yeah, but Marianne, how have you been? I mean, like, we haven't seen each other since like, I don't even know how many weeks now.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, yeah. I feel like it's already been...
Like what? Like for probably like, I don't know. I think she froze for a bit.
Right? I mean, it's been almost 2 months, right?
Today is day 42 or 43. I've lost count.
I think it might even be day 44, I think.
Whatever it is, we've basically gone into the 40s, all right?
Yeah.
And for me is everybody is trying to kind of accustom themselves to this new lifestyle. I don't know, Marianne, what have you been keeping busy with for the past like 2 months?
So I've just been doing a lot of online tutorials. I've just been like going online, like kind of like practicing whatever I've seen on the web for art related stuff. So, I mean, that kind of keeps my mind off of the anxiety, and that helps. Rather than like kind of like pressuring myself to like come up with like constantly new work or new content. Because like when you do that, right, and you are...
And she froze again. I love.
It's Jared's problem, man.
I know it's Jared's problem. Sorry,
that's causing a problem.
Yeah, Marianne, you were just freezing a bit. So so you can go on. You were saying about you learning new things. Yeah.
Yep, I'm learning new things online, and I'm not so much focused on like constantly thinking about how do I create new content all the time, because I think there's anxiety that you're experiencing right now that kind of like stops you from like, it kind of freezes you on your like creative thought process, because you're like so scared, you know, like, oh my goodness, you know, you're worried about your income, you're worried about like what's gonna happen next. So like somehow those kind of things kind of like just make me freeze and not want to like focus on like coming up with content at the moment. So I thought like, okay, the only way to mitigate that is to just kind of like, I don't know, watch some online tutorial, kind of get my mind into sharpening my skills. So more of that. Yeah, I've been doing more of that.
Yeah, I mean, so the MCO, right, has kind of forced a lot of people to kind of pivot around what they usually do. Like, you know, when, you know, to be honest, right, the one way to say about it is we've basically taken life for granted. Okay, we're basically really used to doing what we do before the MCO was even enforced. Like, hey, you wanna go somewhere and make a video? Go and do it. Hey, you wanna go somewhere and do something? I'll just get there. It's just a drive away. Hey, I'm too lazy to drive. Okay, I'll get a Grab. And all of a sudden, all these things, all these flexibility has just been taken away from us. And then I think I kind of feel with you, because at one point of time, I was just sitting down staring at the blank wall, and I kind of like wondered to myself, what's gonna happen to me?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, but okay, like
Well, for starters, Marianne, I haven't seen you for about, I think, months now. You still look the same though. So
Yeah.
props to you, man. Whatever exercise that you've been doing, it's working. Yeah, you look exactly the same as how I remember you. So yeah, I mean, Jane looks.
hey,
Well, yeah, you look the same, Marianne. Yeah, you look the same.
hey.
That is so mean.
Hey. I'll in my defense, I'm in my at home clothes. I could see that both of you really made the effort to basically dress up. I should have done so as well, but no amount of makeup or hair gel or whatever could basically hide this face right now because
Ayo.
I basically come to like, dude, it's like my entire head is a freak. It's no longer a mop. It's like freaking a fuzz ball. Okay, I don't know what's going on. And
You should ask Michelle to help you cut your hair.
No, I
like,
don't-
really.
Yeah,
One of
you
the
should.
trends that are going on. Yeah, right. You know, like wives and girlfriends cutting their partner's hair. You should ask Michelle to at least try to cut your hair, give you a nice trim at the sides, and give you a nice fade or something like that.
No, Brendan. I
Yeah.
trust her as a wife, but not as a hairdresser. Okay, she'll probably just like, yeah.
Oh man, Michelle's gonna kill you.
She's actually in the background while we're recording this podcast. I'm pretty sure she wants to say hi.
Oh.
Yep, she's probably waving.
Okay.
Okay, she's too engrossed in the
Okay.
computer, but it's okay. Oh, Marianne says hi.
Right.
Okay, she says hi. Yeah, but like going back to Marianne, you were mentioning about you having a little bit of anxiety, talking about the fact that okay, in your line of work, the MCO has basically caused you or pushed you in a corner where all right, I can't do anything. I can't look for sources of income. It's limited. I mean, there are some opportunities out there, but it's not as what it used to be. You know,
Yep, 100%.
what are you doing? Okay, so how do you probably overcome that? Are you trying to basically learn as much as you can online right now so that when you come out stronger, or are
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
In a way, yes, that's right. Actually, you got it right on the dot. Like, I just feel like it could be a season of like a pit stop, right? So if you upgrade yourself at this point in time, it only benefits you at the end of the day. Even if you feel like, all right, I am like, I feel stuck. I just feel like I can't, like financially, you know, almost all my jobs are like no longer around, you know, or like they got either postponed or they got cancelled. Or as an actor, in actuality, as an actor, you don't constantly get jobs also. So in a lot of ways, right, this feels kind of the same thing, like where you're just kind of like, there's this almost this passive situation where you just kind of have to wait and see how things go. And then you have to go along with it in terms of season wise. So during that,
Yeah, and she froze. During that, wait, okay. You were saying during that, and then you can continue from there.
as an actor, during the season of waiting, what you usually do is that you do your best to prepare yourself
Right.
in between seasons. Anyhow, you don't just like slack off and just do nothing. You do things to actually prep yourself further, or at least like go up online and research more and more about the actors that you look up to and what are the things that you can take away from them when it comes to their scenes and stuff like that. So it's all about like constantly kind of like
Building.
how do you say raking through like information so that you can sort of like have some sense of like, you know, reference when you are back and on job.
Right.
Like whatever job that you're doing. Yeah.
So it's like you gotta come out a better version of your own self after this MCO, because if you don't, you know, there are a lot of people right now who are okay, there are a few different types of people. I'm not saying everyone, but
Yeah.
you have the people who are, you know what, I give up lah. You know, this MCO is basically getting me at my tying up my hands and my legs. I can't do anything, and they just give up. And everything just like
That's right.
that's it, you know, I'm done for. That's it, you know, and they give up. And here you have those people. And actually, one person that I really respect is So I'm Jen. She is killing it. I tell you, she
Totally
is
agree.
freaking killing it right now. So
Yes.
if you're listening, you don't know who So I'm Jen is. She actually is a content creator. She creates content on Facebook. You see her content on Instagram, and she is when this MCO first started, she started Instagram living. What is if that is such a term? And
Yeah.
and I saw that, and she got in touch with me and said that, hey Jin, do you want to do a plank challenge? And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So every day, and I saw her do a challenge with you as well. You were doing a makeup challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which she looks great.
was really funny. We both like ended up looking really funny, but we had fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
5-minute challenge.
I know. And from 5 minutes, she's now doing longer broadcasts and she's talking to international superstars such as Nas Daily. She's talking
I saw
to
that one. Yeah.
huge celebrities like Vivi Yusuf. And like she's just going on. She's not stopping. And I see her. And the thing is, I mean, like, look, she is working with some brands. Brands are working with her. And I remember talking to her. She said that, hey, I'm a little worried because, you know, at this point in time, you know, a lot of people are going to cut spending. A lot of people are not going to be as confident in spending before. And even though if they are, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, don't want lah. Let's save money because, you know, recession coming and stuff like that. And there she is, you know, working with brands. And I'm like, wow, this girl is really inspiring. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I told myself like, oh, I wish I could be like her way. She's killing it.
No,
Man.
but the thing is, right, I do feel like everybody has to go at their own pace. Like, just because she is being very, very productive, like, and you can visually see it, it doesn't mean that you are failing on your part.
Yes.
Like, you resting sometimes just means that you need that more than ever right now. And you taking that break
Taking that break. Okay, taking that break. Remember, Brendan? She froze it. Taking that break.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay. She froze it. Taking that break.
Taking that break.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
taking
man.
a break could be the best thing for you right now, so that you can relax and that you're able to get into your creativity, access your creativity when you are relaxed. You can't do it when you're anxious and you're worried and you're thinking about like, oh wow, you know, if I don't do this now, my income's not coming in. If you think of it that way, right, it's really, really crippling. Like your whatever ideas that's supposed to come in won't come in because you're just so anxious about, oh, this is do or die kind of situation. So I think sometimes relaxing really helps.
Yeah. And adding to what Marianne said, that, you know, if you're constantly always thinking of how do I get out of this pit hole, I'm not saying everyone I'm not saying that it's gonna end up the same way with everyone. You sometimes may even force yourself to doing something that you don't even want to do and then probably just sway away. So like, I don't know. I mean, so Brandon, how has this break? Okay, I know you go out a lot. How has this break been for you, apart from you telling the whole wide world that you miss your fiance?
I will still mention that because that is superb. I mean, that is super duper true. But I think I half agree with what Marianne said, and I half agree with what you said. I think I stand really much in the middle of the both of you, whereby, you know, there is a part of me that do feel a little bit guilty when I look at, you know, these people who are my friends as well, you know, who are fellow content creators, and they're doing like crazy stuff. And I'm looking at myself and I try, and when I compare myself, I'm like, why am I not doing that? You know, do I not have the resources to do it? Do I not have the connections and the network to do that? I could very well do all those things as well, but I'm not doing it for whatever reason. And you cannot help, you know, as fellow content creators, also compare yourself. And that's why Jin, you know, who is himself a content creator, he says, I wish I could be like that, you know. And that's a part of us that I think will never die because we are still passionate about what we do. So I do half agree with that, that you cannot just straight away say that, you know, why can't I be like that? But you cannot constantly compare yourself. And that's why I half agree with Marianne as well. Because during these times of break, it's a very good time to refresh, rejuvenate, you know, to reset. And that's one important part as well. I believe for me, especially, you know, like I may not be coming out with like as much content as I did last time. No thanks to also my procrastination and a little bit of my laziness as well. But this time is actually, I've used it to really improve other areas of my life, you know. Both of you know I'm a Christian, you know. So Phoebe and I, we've undertaken a Bible study together every single night, you know. We read through a book and we go through every single chapter and we pray about it and say, okay, what have we received every single night without fail. And before this MCO, we never did anything like that. We never sort of talk about, you know, not never lah, but we very rarely talk about things of value to us, like real deep relationship stuff. And having this opportunity to actually every night connect with each other in a much deeper spiritual level really just greatly improve our relationship. And of course, to that aspect, nobody really sees, nobody really knows this is going on between the both of us. And at the same time, you know, like for me, myself, I watch a lot of online tutorials as well just to improve my editing skills. My church is very small. I'm the only one who's editing the online service, me, one person. a 1 hour service, and that takes up a lot of my time as well. But it's things that I do find satisfaction in. That's why I say I half agree with both of you, because at the same time, while I'm not happy in myself, I do want to do more in terms of content, creating content. I've just written 3 different scripts yesterday night when I couldn't sleep. But at the same time, you also want to do things that eventually will bring you some form of contentment, ironically, as a content creator.
Contentment. Nice.
Yeah, content and contentment that will bring you fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in your life. So it's a big balance between both. At the same time, you cannot really compare yourself so much to other people. If not, what Marianne said is so true. You're going to be, it's crippling. The word is, it's crippling. You're going to be suffering more anxiety than you actually think you are. But at the same time, you cannot be resting on laurels, thinking I don't have to do anything, because you're just going to fall out of being relevant anymore, Yeah. So for me, it's just sitting right in the middle, and finding that balance is more often than not, it's a little bit harder. Yeah.
That's actually very well said. I mean, like, apart from Marianne, apart from learning new things online and learning new things on with online courses and stuff like that, has the MCO actually made you do something that it's like totally unexpected, or made you like, dwell in pick up something that you probably never expected you would have done, as compared to a normal day?
Maybe if anything, it helped me kind of like explore a different style of like, so for example, recently what I did was, there was 2 recent comics that I did that was very, very different from all my other type of comics that I've done.
Yep.
And it's more emotionally driven type of comics.
Yep.
And that was like me kind of like experimenting, like, and tapping into that side of me where I feel like I don't usually want to put out there, because I feel very vulnerable and I feel scared of having people scrutinize that part of me. Because I always do comics that are just like, hey, everybody just laugh along and everybody be entertained and have a good day, and I'm like that. I'm someone who wants to radiate that kind of positive energy.
Yep. She wants to basically, put a more positive vibe. She froze again. Sorry, you want to put a more positive vibe. And of course, for those of you listening, Marianne is an actress. She's acted on our videos on YouTube. She's acted in movies. She's on the silver screen, and she's also she basically a background. I think, can I say you're a designer by background? You've got
actually, and I'm an animator background, but I don't do animation. Ironically, I do more illustration, if anything.
And she has a page that where she actually draws comics, and of course the comics the comics that she draws basically represents the life of what every individual would go through, whether it's relationship, friends, being in an Asian parent household. But of course, one of the comics that have been going super viral, which has been basically shared worldwide, like literally worldwide, was a comic that you drew about the frontliners. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so I had a friend who's working in hospitals right now.
So yes, Marianne has a friend who is working in hospitals. We'll wait for her to unfreeze and then she'll continue. Yes, you have a friend. You have a friend who is working in the front line. Yes,
in a local hospital. Yeah, my friend who's working in a local hospital. She works in the emergency department. She has 3 kids. And she told me one day that, there was a case in her hospital where there was an individual who came in with all the symptoms, but lied about it. And luckily, it was not directly with her. It was in another department within the same hospital.
Oh, wow.
And right after they found out that this person was tested positive for COVID, and it was part of the cluster and everything, they had to immediately shut down that whole area, and they had to like clean down everything. And she was really scared to go home. And she was like really worried about like, oh my goodness, what if I gave this to my kids?
Oh my gosh.
And somehow, like, when she told me this, right, and she was just kind of like venting, like why are people like this? And it doesn't help that weeks leading up to it, I kept reading this kind of really frustrating
frustrating kind of incidences where a lot of people were selfish, really, really selfish.
Yes, very, very selfish. And I thought, like, you know what, I don't want to spread any more hate about that. So I just tried to ignore it. But then when it happened to my friend, I think that's when I drew the line, and I just felt like that's not right. And it kind of lingered. It lingered, and then I felt like because it dwelled so deeply, right, somehow like I just knew what she was trying to say.
Yes.
And I just knew that this message needs to get out there. And I'm very sure that she was not alone in this situation. So hence the comic. And I felt emotional as I drew it as well, because I can imagine being in her position. As an actor, you know, you put yourself in their position, you can imagine the pain and the loneliness and the anger you get if you faced all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was placed into the comic, and then somehow like it just blew up. Like everybody around the world is like, oh, can I like animate it? Can I do this? Can I do that with it? So I was very surprised with the feedback. But at the same time, it made me realize like, oh, okay, there's something here.
Yeah, and okay, I'm just gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go back to that comic right now, because like even without the drawings, if you read the lines. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna look for Marianne. It's like I'm stalking Marianne on Instagram right now.
Think.
Yes. You're like stalking her. I was like, oh, there we go. All right, let's follow her. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Let's bring that up. And hold on. There we go. I think even without the drawings, so this is like, if this was just the flu, then why would we frontliners go through all of the hassle of putting power protective equipment on? We do this so that we could save lives effectively. So please be honest with us about your condition so that we can go home to our families safely too. The last frame basically hit me, because it was a picture of a lady who obviously was a frontliner, who was basically having her daughter, who was a minor, running towards her with her arms wide open. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, as a little kid like that, they wouldn't understand what their parents are going through at the moment, you know, what their parents are doing in the hospitals and everything. And whoa, that one I looked at, I mean, when I saw that, right, straight away I look at my daughter and I'm like, oh man.
yeah.
And I was a little bit of me, I was like, started tearing up. I was like, I wouldn't, like, don't put this whole COVID thing aside, right? Like, I wouldn't dare do anything that would jeopardize the safety of my own child. You know what I mean? Right. No one will be able to understand it unless you have a child. I mean, like, you know, people. I mean, we don't. I'm not saying that I expect everyone to understand, but you know, when you come to a stage when you have kids, you'll be able to understand. It's very hard to describe. It's just like, oh man. But it's great. I mean, the comic super viral. It's super crazy. And how was the response for that?
It led to jobs.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
I want to just say this is like a testimony in this season. It led to actual jobs. And this job,
we're gonna wait for her to unfreeze.
This job.
Yeah.
I have so it's just a little campaign type thing, but it's engaged for every month. There should be one comic sort of situation.
Oh wow!
And they paid really, really well. So that's why I just felt like, you know, this kind of season where I felt like almost all my jobs are like depleted, and I've kind of like been trying to like channel for this kind of job. Like finally, you know, like the opportunity came.
Wow!
You know? So yeah, it's weird. It kind of like shifted the way I thought about creative work and things like that. It made me feel like, you know what, if you actually put your heart into your creative work, right, you will channel the right people to come approach you and work with you on these kind of jobs. So yeah, I think this season is just more of like focusing on what I want to do. Like, what is my purpose? What do I want to do like long term for myself? Like, is it just acting? Is it just gonna be illustrating individual photos? Like, what is it, you know? So it was kind of like just me searching that. Like, I'm just trying to like find.
Yeah, she's trying to find.
She's trying to find. That's what she was saying. She's
trying to find. Sorry, Marianne, you can continue. What were you trying to find?
I was just trying to find a very focused picture of what do I want to be doing in the future.
Oh wow!
You know, so that's my season now. Yeah.
All right.
That's amazing. It's like, that's very, okay, to be honest, right, that's actually very reassuring to hear, you know, seriously, because we, like Brendan, you yourself and myself, we know Marianne as an actress, right? Because we work with her. I mean, we always make videos and stuff like that. And at that point of time, we would think that, okay, Marianne is going to continue making videos, you know, acting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But here you have Marianne telling us now, like, you know what, I have kind of pivot and kind of found something else that I can do that also channels my own creative thinking towards
That's right.
comics. And like the thing is, given, I mean, either whether it could be acting and it could be acting and it could be comic drawing, you will be able to channel the same emotion through these two platforms, which is completely amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, if it was going to be for a film, chances are, Marianne, you will be acting as a nurse, right, or a doctor who is going to the front line. Yeah. But now you're drawing as a comic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
exactly.
It's just amazing how, like, sometimes when and to be honest, I don't think that you did this whole comic thing with the intention in the first place, with the intention in the first place to monetize it. I don't think it was more of
definitely not. If you know me long enough, Jim, you know I don't do things for money. Like, you know that, okay, this has to like somehow work with me, like in my soul, like it has to be aligned somehow. In terms of creative work. Yeah.
That's really very reassuring to hear, because you know why? There are a lot of people, Brandon, who are listening right now, who probably will never ever give up what they're currently doing or even think about doing something else, because they will tell themselves, you know what, this is what I was born to do. I can never imagine myself doing something else. It's either this or nothing else. You know, if I can't do this,
but
then
it's not true. It's so limiting. I don't agree with that idea at all. Like, just because other people think that you should be that way, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you need to be whatever people want you to be or stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't have to be other people's limits of you.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. That's amazing, and I'm pretty sure you're not the only one. I'm very sure during the MCO, right, a lot of people are probably trying to find or are able to find themselves. Like, Brandon, what do you think?
Yes.
It really depends on the definition of finding yourself. I mean, if you just put in a general perspective of things like finding yourself, you know, some people can find for years and years and they still don't know who they are, don't know their real identity, don't know what their meaning in life is, you know. So it really depends on the definition of finding yourself here. I mean, just hearing the both of you speak, you know, I myself am so inspired. I myself am very reassured as well, that, you know, you don't necessarily have to follow like other people's pace. You know, you go at your own pace, and at the same time, you still have that sort of creative freedom to still express yourself. In Marianne's story, you know, from what was once acting, now she's pouring her creativity and her life experiences into comics as well, and it still translates, and people still understand the emotion behind it, the story behind it. And I think that's amazing, because in times like this, a lot of times we find ourselves reinventing ourselves as well. You know, and there's a sort of wisdom there to be realistic as well, because Jean, like you said, you know, a lot of us, like, you know, if we continue being what we are, we won't go anywhere. So that's why we have to come up with something new, something fresh. And at the same time, a lot of people also say like, oh yeah, we want to be like you, but nobody really knows the hard work that goes behind it, and we have to be realistic sometimes with them. It's like, no, you don't really want to be like us, you don't understand the lifestyle. It's not easy being, you know, a comic artist, such that, you know, Marianne herself had to name her profile Think and Think, because I think she deals with a lot of procrastination and all. And it's so funny that your page name is literally like Think, like you're talking to yourself.
Like Think and Think.
Thank you for understanding.
Think. Yeah, so I totally understand. So it's not as easy as people think it is. It really isn't. And that's why I feel like, you know, in the journey of finding yourself, I mean, it's just to encourage in general everyone out there that you will find dry moments as well. It's like your life won't be a high all the time, you know. To the best content creators out there, I think they can testify for themselves. It's not always a high. We all, as glamorous as it looks outside, we all, I think, go through our deepest, darkest moments. There are times when we just feel like we're giving up. We don't know what we're doing anymore. We find no meaning in what we do. And that passion we doubt our passion anymore. So yeah, I think all of us go through that moments as well. And it's okay. I think the point here is I'm trying to say it's okay to go through those moments. It is, in fact, important to go through those moments. And that's where you really start to find yourself, like who you really are, what you really want to do in life, what brings purpose and meaning to what you do.
Yeah, and
then
to add to that,
you can reinvent yourself.
To add to that, Brandon, it's okay for you to go through these moments. And remember that you can go through these moments not alone. It is okay for you to kind of
very important
talk with people as well. I'm pretty sure, Marianne, you had the support of Jared, your husband, who's basically encouraging you. And okay, to some people out there, okay, the reason why I bring this up is because some people might be living alone. You know, some people may have lost a job and they are sitting at home. They don't have anyone to talk to. They're too embarrassed to talk to other people, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm just gonna give up, and it's just gonna lead to a lot of self-doubt, and it will lead to, I'm not saying it will lead to, but it may lead to some sort of depression, which I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I guess now,
but it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's just that at these times like that, don't go through it alone. I'm so happy that we're basically talking about this, because from Marianne's perspective, like again, Brandon mentioned that you see her comics, it went viral. You see all her famous comics, you see all her famous work and everything, and everybody will just basically judge her from the surface. Yeah, she's successful. Yeah, you know what? She's great and all that. But you don't, right now you're hearing and you're understanding what she's going through and what she had to go through in order to get there. And and she basically got there with or without the MCO. I mean, yes, some before the MCO and some during the MCO. And what we're trying to say here is, yes, again, you may go through some downtimes, and you may go through a period of time where, you basically learn to discover more about yourself. And the thing is, it is okay. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop catching up to other people. Catch up with yourself. I think the best way to say it is to catch up with yourself. Yeah. This has been amazing.
I do feel like MCO is a season where a lot of things are being concentrated.
Yep.
Like it will, like whatever you do last time before MCO, you get to go out and you get to diffuse whatever you've been feeling and emoting and things like that by doing your work, by meeting other people. So you get to diffuse whatever you feel. But during MCO, I find that
during MCO, she finds that, okay, we hold that. She's going to come back.
Okay. During MCO, I feel that a lot of your emotion becomes very concentrated. And I think that you should tap into it. Like, listen to what you're supposed to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you're able to channel that creatively into the things that you're supposed to do, like with whatever talent that you have, And when you're able to translate that and people are able to get that, I think it becomes something. I think that's when a conversation can happen with people that you're sharing this with.
Yeah.
So it's all about like how you tap into that hard emotion that you're feeling throughout this MCO, like what we're doing right now. In a way, this is us discussing that concentrated feeling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This has been amazing. You know what? I hope you guys have taken something away from today's episode. Marianne, it's been amazing. It's been such a joy to talk to you and kind of catch out what you've been going through. Brandon, before we go, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, just remember, you're not alone, guys. If you need someone to talk to, here's Jin's number, 012. But really, guys, you're not alone, all right? You will go through downtimes. You'll go through some dark moments. But remember, you're not alone. Always reach out. Please reach out.
Yeah. Marianne, do you want to say anything before we go?
Thank you all for listening, and tune in for more of this Mamak session.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you again, of course. I mean, this is just one of our many catch-ups to come. Do check out Marianne's work, okay? Just look for Think and Think. All right? And of course,
Thank you for that shout out, guys.
Yeah, just Google Marianne Tan. You'll be able to see her on Google. I mean, like, Google her for her work, okay? Not for anything else. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Okay, we know you're cooped up at home, so we hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. If you want to connect with us, you can, all right? There's a way for you to connect with us by going to our Instagram page. It's Instagram.com/Mamak Sessions. You can DM us. You can basically leave us a public response. We'll be more than happy to basically answer that. If you have any suggestions on what we can talk about during this trying times, we'll try our best, okay? Stream us on Spotify. Stream us on Apple iTunes. Or you can catch us on youtube.com/JennyBoyTV Hangouts. Thank you so much. We'll speak to you next time.